Hi everyone, it is Karynjean. Oh, excuse me. Thank you so much for being here and welcome back. I'm going to take you through the journal. I did a lot of recording this past weekend. Today's Monday, April 3rd, and it was just a hot mess. So I figured, it was really just picking out the signatures and sewing them in, and nothing really happening there. So let's take a look at the journal. Hi, how are ya? Let's take a look at the journal. So here it is, 2 signatures. And I did a little bit of decorating. Maybe I'll throw a little bit of that footage in if I still have it. I don't know. I don't really know if it's worth it at this point. But we have this beautiful pocket from this I just love this watercolor paper. Okay. Say your prayers. This is from wall art from the Dollar Tree. It said, wash your hands and say your prayers because germs and Jesus are everywhere, kind of thing. So say your prayers because it's a prayer journal. So here's the first signature. We have a pocket there. I've used blue, pink, and purple paper. The purple you might not be able to see that much. It's very, very pale. I wanted the papers in the journal to be pale because it's a prayer journal, and to me that means a lot of writing. It's a conversation you're having with God. So that's there. So here we go. And then in the first signature we have this pretty card. There we have purple, blue, pink, purple, and here we have the signature center, and this is just, yeah, I'll explain this to you. I was having all kinds of issues with the things I put in this book, which is pretty much why I gave up editing the video, I think. I'm sure you can see here, I had the paper doily laid down here, so it gave some beautiful interest on that. This is one of the window flips that I made during one of Roxy's weekly challenges. And the issue I had with this is that I had to trim it down because I left a hinge on it, but the hinge was just way, way too thick. So on this side, if you can see it, there's a piece of micropore tape here, kind of fades into the background, which I like. And then over here, I also put down micropore, and then I hinged it with a scrap piece of the blue paper because the journal is 5 inches, not 6 inches. I had to cut an inch off of all the pages. So the pages are not 8.5 by 11, they're 8.5 by 10. So I have lots of 1-inch strips. So I covered that there, and then I just reinforced it with that there. And then this is and see, there's because Jesus, right? It's a prayer journal, so obviously a Christian prayer journal. So that is there. And then we flip back. This page here had a couple of spots that needed doctoring, so I just doctored it with the blue and the purple. And then this, let me get this out of the way. This is one of these here. I'm going to do a mass make of these, I think. Maybe and I'll show you how I made this. I'll make another one, and I'll show you how I made it. After we do this, I'll show you how I made it. And then I have clusters here to put together. So this is in there. I was concerned with the color green, but on the sticker here, this green matches it. And I'm using this sticker book as the inspiration for the journal. So I put that there. It says Grace on it. Yeah, I've also chosen for inking of the edges is Wilted Violet Distress Oxide because purple, right? This is the back of that card, and on the bottom of the cards, they have the Blue Mountain or wherever it's from. So I just stuck a sticker there to cover it up. I could have made it into a pocket, but I decided not to, just have the sticker there because we'll be putting pockets in elsewhere. So, and this is the end of the first signature. And I put this one in the first signature because it has this spot back here, and we have the gap between the two signatures, so you can really stuff that in there. You could stuff things in there and not have too much of an issue, assuming that this does not become a gator mouth. And now here we are into the second signature. This piece of paper also needed doctoring, so I just put a strip of purple down there. Here's one of these flip outs again from Rachel over at Roxy's Creations. Purple. Remember, I pulled stuff out that I thought I might be putting in the journal. Some of the stuff, like the envelopes that went over the side of the page, they were just that much. They'd be fine on a 5.5-inch page, but they're just that much too big for these pages. They just get caught here, so I didn't use them. And now this is this one here. Right. Pretty pages, pretty pages. This is the center of the second signature, which I absolutely adore. Gold is also our highlight throughout the journal. I'm more of a silver person, not a gold person, but gold will be in this journal. So not sure yet what I'm going to do with this, quite honestly. I would like something that is like transparent like this. This is the wall art because it truly is transparent. I don't want to lose any of this, but I need to do something with it. I could use... The dog's having issues today. I could use vellum. I could use tracing paper. I just don't know what I'm going to do. So, and then we have back here, and then there's just a sticker here. And this sticker is from Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And for some reason, I'm thinking this sticker, I just stuck them down. I did not glue them down, and I'm thinking it needs to be glued down. I hear alarms like sirens, or it sounds like sirens, but it could also be because it is springtime. It could just be like power tools and stuff, because I know there are a few people in the neighborhood. Whoops, I don't know what that is. A few people in the neighborhood working on their homes. You know, I'm not quite sure what they're doing, but I always hear the power tools. All right, let us see if we can put this back. There. Okay, and boom, 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 we're back here. So that's that. I think what I'm going to do to cover the spine is I might use this. I haven't used my jewels in a while because, you know, purple. Let me snip it right there. I'm not going to cover the spine now because I'm going to have to use the silicone glue Fabrifix, and we will not be able to work in the journal. We'll do this last. So let's just cut it down to what we want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 5, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ow! My shoulder does not like to do that. Okay. All right, so I haven't used these in a while. As I glance on over to my shelf of, right now I'm counting 3 journals over there that have this kind of stuff on the spine. One of them actually has this purple on the spine. And I know what journal that is. I just don't remember what name I gave it. Another one, the other two are, one's a winter journal and the other one's a Christmas journal. They're not very big. They're tiny little ones. I'm just cutting off the little knitting thready things. Smooth that out. So I hope you're all doing well. As I get this. I know, I get very obsessive. I think my brother told me yesterday, we were having a conversation just about, you know, moving, and because in the new house, I hope to be able to have him have his own, you know, like little living space, his own kitchen and stuff. But my concern is that with the cleaning, he doesn't clean. He says, I clean, it's just not to your standards. I'm like, well, if there's grease left on the counter. So we were having a conversation about, he's big into, I think he's a hoarder. He says he doesn't like to throw things away because he's into reduce, reuse, and recycle. So it's like, yeah, but you need to throw the sponge away because it's filthy and it's not, you're not cleaning anything with it. You're just spreading the mess around with it. And he's like, he doesn't want to put things in a landfill. It's like, well, it's eventually going to end up in a landfill anyway, Stephen, because what do you think I'm going to do with it when you die, right? It's like, oh, wow. So anyway, let me put that back. So this will be placed on there. Okay. Now, I said I was going to show you that one flip thing. So let me get a piece of paper. Here. I'll use this piece of paper because I know I'm not going to use this in the journal. So most of my pages, I'm going to cut it down 8 inches. I'm going to leave it at 12 inches, but I'm going to cut it down 8 inches. You do need a 12 by 12 sheet of paper for this. Well, I suppose you could use 8.5 by 11, but it's going to be very narrow when you're done. It's going to be even more narrow. Well, I don't know. Let's do this one, and then I'll pull out a sheet of 8.5 by 11, and we'll try it with 8.5 by 11. I've only ever used 12 by 12 for this, mainly because of my 8.5 by 11 paper is either plain white, right? I suppose we can use a digital if you print out a digital on 8.5 by 11. Okay, so there's 8.5. Now, the thing you do first is you're going to want to fold over this bit right here, okay? Because this is where it's going to get tucked into. So, fold it over. It doesn't matter if you fold it over on the left or the right. I'm right-handed. This is how I do it. If you want it in the book the other way, then you just flip it around. Okay, now this one is got to get tucked in there, right? So you want to fold it. You don't want to have it all the way over to that fold because that's not going to work. So I'm going to fold it like halfway in, okay? Don't measure anything here, folks, because it's just going to confuse you, all right? So you're going to fold that halfway in. Now, what I'm going to do here, just to make sure my angles, I'm going to angle this, right? I'm going to angle the 2 corners. I just want to make sure my angles are the same. This is the easier way for me to do it. I could cut one off and then flip it over. Now, just want to make sure that the angles, here's the thing, you want to make sure when you angle the paper that it's, how do I explain this? That it starts to cut in at or slightly above where this is, because this is going to be glued down here. So you're not going to be able to, and if this is glued down here, you're not going to be able to tuck the piece of paper in unless you have it angled to miss the glue portion. So there's that. So you have this like this, right? Folded in half, which is very lovely. You could just put that in the page too if you want. This is, it wouldn't fit though, unless you cut it down, because this is 5 3/4. And then what you're doing is, I don't want to mess it up. You're folding it back on itself like this, right? Boom. Now, this is an 8, I don't know if I did 8 or 8.5, by a 12 inches of paper. So 12 inches of paper, it's like 2 3/4 of an inch. If you only use 11 inches of paper, it's going to be like maybe 2, it's going to be even more narrow. And for me personally, that's just a little bit too narrow. So what you do then is, and you're going to put it on the page this way or this way, depends on what page you want to put it on. You're going to glue this this is what I do. I glue 3 sides down here because then I want it to be a pocket, right, on the side of the page. Here, let's get the thesaurus. I'm going to glue it down on the 3 sides so I have a pocket or a tuck spot here. And then this flips out like this, so you could decorate it. You could put plain paper here, or depending upon what kind of paper you use, it could be writing space, journaling space. But then this is going to flip out like so, and this is going to be extra writing space. Remember, this here section is going to be glued down. Okay? And that's how that works. So, yes, I pulled the thesaurus out for a reason. Let's see. Now let me glue this down. And so, it's a little bit much. Now I'm using wet glue. You could use double-sided adhesive, you know. You could even, if you wanted to, you could make little gussets. You don't have to glue it down. You can make little gussets. The thing is that I do not recommend that you use cardstock to do this, because it's just going to be too thick and too heavy, and it's going to create a lot of bulk, and I just don't recommend cardstock. You could use a little bit of a heavier weight paper if you want, but also, instead of gluing it down, if you don't want to angle it in like that, you could just wrap tape, washi tape or something around on the outside of this to seal it off so that you have then the full width and you don't have to worry about those little angles. Like so. But then that tucks in very nice. And that goes into a journal. It's very easy peasy. I wouldn't say it's a way to use scraps because this is a big piece of paper. You're making a scrap with it, right? And then with this, like what I did in the journal, you could fold this in thirds, more or less. You might want to score it. I'm not scoring it, and so I'm going to make a mess out of it. Right like that. All right, like that. More or less thirds, right? And then, again, you have another flip out, and then this could be a pocket on the page. I have a little bit of white showing there because the way I folded it. Yeah, so this is a good, if you have paperweight paper, like I have those 2 pads of actual paperweight scrapbooking paper that you don't particularly like, or that would be a good base to build up other things. Now, I said you could try with digitals, which are 8.5 by 11, so let's do that one. Oh, this is 8.5 by 11. It doesn't go all the way to the edge of the page, though. I don't think that's important because we'll use that as the tuck-in. All right, so what we'll do here is, and yeah, see, there's the border. I'll fold this over, and how much am I? I'm folding it over about 1 inch. Well, actually, that's 1.5 inches. So, but then I'll fold this in like this. And what I'm going to do here, instead of angling this and gluing these down, what I'll do here is I will use washi tape. Let's see. This is pretty. I don't remember where I got it. It's a digital. It looks like, you know what it looks like? It looks like a cat hand. It looks like cat hand. Now, oh, I'm going to sneeze. I don't think this is the right green, but we'll use it. We'll use it. And using the wrong scissors on this. Hi there. I'm going to use, what am I using? What am I talking? I'm using glue stick. Again, we know how much I love the glue stick. I need to go get the glue stick that I prefer to use. So I'm just going to take it up to there. I'm not gusset. Like I said, you can gusset it if you wanted to. But it's really, the purpose of it is just to seal it off so it makes a tuck for that. I don't think a gusset is necessary. Let's just trim that off right there. Oof. And we'll do another one over here. Don't need it very, very big. Now, the glue stick might work better because it's just regular weight copy paper. Well, 24-pound copy paper is what I use, so not regular weight, a little bit heavier. Fold that, get it over, like so. Nip that off. And this will be our test to see our comparison, right, between the two. Now let's see if it's going to fit in there. It should fit in there. It should. I might need to, here, let's do it that way. I was going to say I might need to nip them anyway. Okay. And then, see, to me, this is awfully narrow. But what you could do is something this narrow. This is what? About 2.5 inches. What you could do with something this narrow is you can make it a belly band, right? Because the page would be, I'm not sure. I don't want to use that. Here, let's try this. This is more or less 8.5 by 11. I'm not quite sure how big it is actually. Not 8.5 by 11. When I fold it in half, it's not going to be 5.5. 5.25. Okay, well, you get the idea. So you would place it. It would be a belly band. Now, then it would just be glued down at the two spots, so that it would flip open this way. When you open it this way, and this actually is too deep, I would have to trim that down. What am I saying? It's glued down as a belly band here. Again, this section, so it would flip out this way. So I would probably, in that case, I would put it in probably this way so that it flips out to the outside of the book, assuming that I'm putting it on the right-hand page as opposed to the left-hand page. But this does need to be trimmed down a little bit, so I'm just going to fold it over like that. Just throw some wet glue down. Whoops. And what I would do before I make them is I would ink edges. I folded it down too much. It's not going to tuck in there. Oh, for sweet Toledo. Sweet Toledo is what I say. This paper is also directional because it's music paper, so it would have to go. Yeah, it would have to be this way. So because this is like a little pocket, what we can do is put something in here, right? Like a journaling card or something to hold that down. And then this would come out, and then this would flip open. So there you go. It is a bit more narrow than the other one. And when it comes to journals, that little, what is that, 1/4? That's like almost 1/2 inch. That's a lot. That's a lot. So that's all I'm saying. Okay. End of tutorial. End of tutorial. So let's go back here to the journal. Now, I have these things for cluster making, I'm not quite sure. I don't think we're going to make clusters yet, simply because I'm not quite sure what I would do with them. How I would decorate them is what I'm trying to say. How I would decorate them. Okay, so the things I have here, let me put that back away, I'm going to get out the sticker book just to have this right here. And I have these two things to make pockets out of. What else do I have over here? A bunch of scraps is what I have over here. Let me move the scraps out of my way. Those things to make pockets out of. I pulled out the Thesaurus here, and the reason why I pulled out the Thesaurus is I wanted to look up the word faith. And this is a heavier paper. I have a pocket Thesaurus that is very thin. The paper's very thin. And so it would be rather transparent, kind of like Bible paper. They make it as thin as possible, where you can still read it, but that it will not interfere with what's printed behind it, to make it more, because the Bible can be very heavy. Here we go. Faith, faithful, faithfulness, faithlessness. All right. I'm going to rip this page out. Hopefully. There. You could also look up in the dictionary. But, all right. Faithfulness, faithless. We do not want faithless. So, I'm cutting this by hand. I know. There. And we can make a journaling card out of that, or we can just glue it onto a page. Anything else here? I don't think so. Fallible, fallacy. Okay, not words I would normally use in a journal. How about prayer? Let's see if they have the word prayer in here. Oh, prayer. PQR. Prayer, proclamation. Prayer. Pray. Prayer, prayerful, preach. Interesting. Okay. Praiseworthy. Praise. Okay, praise. We could do praise. We praise in church. Sing the praises of. They also give you the antonym, the opposite. Interesting. Praise. Praisable. Interesting. So there's praise. Well, let's not lose our faith and faithful. Pray, prayer. Here we go. Preach, prayerful, pray. Let's do pray. And actually, like this big collegiate thesaurus, I got at Goodwill for $2. You could probably get it at your thrift store for even cheaper because things at Goodwill can be kind of expensive. But when things call for using book pages to make, I don't know, pockets or back on something, use the stuff like from the thesaurus of the dictionary. As opposed to maybe because some of the books I have, I bought them cheap, and I'm like, oh, well, wait a second, this is like a romance. I don't want to stick this in a journal, and some of the language. All right, we'll just cut that there. We can start with, I know it's gold dots, scattered, they're scattered about, and they're not perfectly round either. Well, they are perfectly round, but it's an optical illusion. That's for me. We could put pockets on either side. I also want to do a couple of envelopes as I'm thinking here. Let me just get these moved out of the way for the moment. Thank you. Like these. Now, let me think. This is like this. All right, let me use this one. And this is 8.5 by 5. Let's go to the big envelope punch board. My envelope punch board. Card size 8.5 by 5. We need to go a little bit smaller than that because envelopes are a little bit bigger. So if we do 4.5 by 8, paper size 10 by 10, score line 3 3/4. All right, let's see what happens. So this is 12 by 12, so we're going to take off 2 inches. And there are of course, other ways to do envelopes. I mean, I could just freehand fold it, but okay. So there's our 10 by 10. And now the score line is, 4.5 by 8, 10 by 10, 3 3/4. So we put this at the 3 3/4 mark. This is how you use one of these punch boards. You only need the 3 3/4 to start. That's your very first measurement. You're going to punch and you're going to score. And it goes in here. And yes, that's going off, but that's okay. Hold on a second. 3 3/4. That's gone right off. I'm going to fold it over. I need a little bit of a bigger punch board because I need it to measure this over here. So the second one gets measured. I think it's there. Kind of have to eyeball it. I think it's there. This here little thing that sticks out. And there, right? 3 3/4 again. So I have the right spot, thankfully. Go all the way down off the edge of the page. Eyeball it again. To there. And perfect. Okay. I do like the notch the envelope punch board gives you. And then you fold it in. Fold it in. Here's our envelope. We're going to fold this up. Lovely. And we're going to fold this down. Lovely. And this measures almost 5 inches by 8 1/4. So it is the perfect size for that will fit, and it will cover the entirety of a page. Now I am going to fold this in. Let's see how we go. Just to reinforce it, right? A little bit. Yep, just like that. Throw down some glue. Let me get my little scrap piece here. Throw down some glue. Now, like I said, I've chosen purple as the highlight color. This also is going to need to be folded up. It goes all the way down. I'm going to fold it up just a little bit. Okay, and I fold them over as opposed to cutting them off, just to reinforce it, right? Right. Okay, and purple. Yeah. Now, I could do one of two things with this. I can not glue this down here, right? I could leave it not glued down, just put something here to tuck it in and have it open up to be extra journaling spot. But I think that just might be just a little bit too much, quite honestly. So I am going to glue it down and make it an actual envelope with, of course, behind it, it's going to have a tuck spot. I'm not going to glue the whole thing down because that's not how I roll. Not how I roll. And I don't know. Which is top and which is bottom. This is top. This is top. This is bottom. Right there. So see how we're doing. All right, so this is bottom. So I'm going to put a piece of strip of glue right there. Now, when I make my own envelopes for the mail, for when I am, for doing card making and stuff, and I make the envelopes to go with the cards, I don't use wet glue to glue it down. I usually use double-sided adhesive tape. There. Now, I glued the edge, both of those edges, so that they're sealed. There's nothing to... And we'll put it in a book, and we are going to have to put something to tuck that into to hold it down. So now I said it's going to fit. Oh, and it's going to fit. It's going to fit, although I should have made it a little bit smaller. A little bit smaller. That's okay. Let me flip over here. I can put it here. Oh, this might be the better place to put it. I'm going to use it. I would prefer it to be a little bit smaller, truth be told. But I will use it. And I'm going to use it right here. And I'll use wet glue. It might have trouble adhering to that down there in the corners. Oh. see what we got. Get it down over there. I'm just going to hold it here for a moment because it's here. It's on the edge of the paper where the paper is folded and bendy. Right. So, there. Okay, now, I know how I have other scraps that, oh no, this, I made strips. Hold on. Ouch! Just banged my knee. Let me go in here and see if I have any already done. Oh, this one. We could use this one. And this is the paper that's on the inside front and back cover. We could use that one. I do not think... no. I don't want to introduce any new colors or paper or anything, so yeah, we're going to use that. I'm sure we'll find a use for this. We'll find a use for that. Okay. And so this we are simply going to put glue just on the very bottom edge like so. And let's make sure there's the glue. We're going to put it there. Like so. And I was also just thinking that my little seagull birds are all blues, but I maybe should make some purple to go in the journal, or just some pink or something, because that might look pretty with, you know, I call them seagulls. You could also think of them as maybe doves. I don't know. Let's look in here, because I know there's like these little, here we go. That gold cross is missing, so let me tear this sheet out. It might fit. We could put one of those. Praying hands. Let's put hope. Put it there. Could hardly, I'm not sure if you can read that, hope or not. And I was gonna put down some praying hands next to it. Praying hands, right? And there, that tucks. We have a huge pocket with another large pocket behind it. Okay, so there's that. Right, what was I saying? I was saying pockets here. But this is very white. What can we do about this? We could do stencils. Stars. We could actually do stars with lunar paste. All right, let's pull this one out. That's a maybe. I know I have stamps and stuff over there about faith, but that's not the one. I was thinking this one. I was thinking this one, of course. All right, I'm going to pull these two out, and I'll be right back. I have many different faith-based stamps. I pulled this one out because I like, here, let me get it. I don't know, still might have glare. I like the dove stamp. That's a nice cross. Hope, amen, peace. Yeah, so we'll put some of that in now. Howsomever. Howsomever. All right, I'm going to put that down, and I'm going to put this down. And what I was thinking was I will put this down with some, yeah. With some, I think, gold lunar paste. And then around it, I am going to use the stars. I'm thinking gold lunar paste, or I could just use ink. I could use ink, and then I could use lunar paste for the star. No, I'm going to use gold lunar paste for that. And then it's going to have to dry, so we're going to have to end the video, because after it dries, then I will come back and put down the stars around it. And actually, I think I'm going to move that further up, because where's my, because if I'm going to put a pocket here, let me see, 2.5 inches is there. I'm going to move it up a little bit. I'm going to move it up to the top, to there anyway. There, okay. Gold lunar paste it is, which is actually, I call it gold lunar, we all call it gold lunar paste, but it's called slippery when wet, is what it is. Slippery when wet. So, and these, and I use a flat foam. I could use my finger, but that's way too big. I'm gonna, and it fits right in here. Gonna spread it, because it's gonna have to dry, and then I'm also gonna have to go wash this. So, okay. So here we go. And I'm trying to, I did start a circular motion there, but here I'm just, because I don't want it to go off the edges underneath, right? I just want it to stay within the confines of the stencil. I'm pressing down, getting there, those tips, making sure. Come on. Load it up some more. Ooh. Okay, I think, ooh, got a little bit here, but that'll be underneath the pocket. That is not under the pocket. Okay, here we go. The big reveal. Oh, dagnabbit. See how I got it underneath there? How it's smushed under? Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. That's what I was trying to avoid doing. Let's see if I can make it any better. Nope. That's what I was trying to avoid doing. Okay, well, I didn't avoid doing it, but we have to wait for that to dry. Okay, back. I think it's dry. I think it dried fairly quickly. Now, what I'm thinking of doing is using tumbled glass on just a brush here. Get me a piece of something or other. I realize that's blue, just to kind of go around it a little bit. Okay, let's, Don't know if that needs to be, there we go, right a little. Just there. Instead of doing the stars, I think I just might do this. Right? And I think I know I have some dies as well. I wonder if I have one that says Faith, and I could do a die cut of Faith and put it straight across there. Right? Just trying to get a little blue in there. Just a little bit. I was going to use clear skies, but I thought clear skies would be a little bit too bright, too dark, too something, right? Okay, so there's that. Let me go check out my die cuts. My dies. Okay. All right, so I have the word faith here. I also have blessed, joyful, thankful, loved, grateful. Hope, maybe hope. It's not very, they're not very big, right? If I can get it. Oof. Hope. Excuse me. Hope. Now I'm having trouble, you know, yeah, but what... what am I going to use? Where is that? What happened to that? Where'd it go? Oh. Here it is. Because I already have that on the back of it. So we can do hope. What else can we get out of here? We could do faith. Will faith fit? Faith will fit. What else will fit? This is 2 inches wide. So what else can we fit on there? I don't think loved. I could do loved that way. All right. But to make sure that I'm going to cut that off. All right. So we have hope. Doesn't matter. Faith. Wait a second. That out of there. I want to make sure it's all clear so that when I go put it through the die cut, that it will it will all fit. Okay. Oof. There. I think my little mini is only 2 inches wide. So let's see what we got. Okay, and I'm going to run it back too, just to be sure. Okay. looks like it all came through. Ooh. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we have. Okay. Now, I do have a Stick It double-sided adhesive. Hope. But I already had the scrapbook.com adhesive down on that. So, which is a heavier adhesive than the Stick It is. But it looked like it went through okay. Let's see what we have. So here is Hope. All right, let's just... these bits, because it is scrapbook.com adhesive, so they're sticky. All right, I'm going to do all this, honestly, because it's sticking to my fingers. Just to see. Yeah, I'm going to get all these bits out, and then we'll be back. Okay, so we have Faith. We have, and we'll use all these in the journal. We have Hope, and we have Loved. Little bits. We have Loved. I think I'm liking Hope. The hope of things to come. The hope of Faith. No, I'm thinking Faith. All right. Faith it is. Let's get this all peeled off. Faith. And yeah, I'm not sure. I could put not the pink pocket. We could put this pocket down, and maybe even make it self-gusseted. Yeah, we might have to. All right, let me cut this down. So it's 5, 2.5. I'll make it 3. I'm just going to cut it in half for now. Now, 2.5, a 1/2 inch. I could do a 1/2 inch all around. That's an awfully big gusset, though. All right, I'll do a 1/2 inch all around. Because that's an awfully big gusset. Do a 1/2 inch all around. Five and a half. I don't know, folks. I'm thinking it's an awfully big gusset. 1/4 of an inch would probably be way more sufficient. And we might decide to do that anyway. Oh, I need to nip down the top corners. And I just snip down I just angle them here just for ease of getting in and out of too, right? That's why I do that. Okay. And let's make sure those are really burnished in good. And double-sided adhesive tape. Just trying to get things off my fingers, folks. Just trying to get things off my fingers. Okay. Like so. All right. Let's flag it up. There. Come on. There. All right, that's flagged up. Get that folded over there. Okay, let's flag it up over here. There, flag it up there, and flag it up here. Okie dokie. All right. Let's see. I should have made it a hair. Oh, it's because what's throwing me off is I'm forgetting that this paper is only 5 inches, not 5.5 inches. Normally, my 5-inch pocket, which I forgot to notch, and which I also forgot to ink, my 5-inch pocket on my 5.5-inch page would be fine. My 5-inch pocket on a 5-inch page is a whole other story. There. Faith. Okay. Well, so what did we do today? We did our tutorial on those flippy things. Where is it? It's in here somewhere. On this. We did our tutorial on that. We did this. I have some editing to do. So thank you so much for being here with me today. And we will continue working on this journal. Let your imagination run wild. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.